Sportsmanship. The stadium broke into applause when Raju hit a huge six that earned the team a place in the finals of the inter-district tournament. Raju was a district player from Ranikot. His performance soon led to his selection on the under-19 Pakistan cricket team. Before long, he became a superstar of the cricket world. But unfortunately, all this success went to his head. He became very rude and arrogant. This worried the coach and the manager of the team because his attitude was not only annoying the local players but was also irritating the international players. They often counseled him, but to no avail. Soon the team went on a tour of Australia where it won the series. When the team returned home, they received a resounding welcome. After their return, all the players went to their hometowns. In Ranikot, Nabil, Raju's best friend since childhood, was anxiously waiting for his friend's return. He was going to see his friend after a long time and he was very excited about it. He was soon going to meet his friend who was a cricket superstar. A luxurious car stopped in front of the house. A well-suited, handsome man stepped out of the car. "It's Raju," Nabil muttered. He came forward to greet his old buddy, but Raju just ignored him and continued walking. Nabil was shocked. He had not expected such behavior from his old friend and it made him sad. He just did not know what to do. The next day, Raju had been invited by the town people at the town house. They wanted to honor their hero and to hear the stories of his victories. Nabil was among the group of people who had gathered at the town hall. When Raju arrived, he just ignored most of the people and arrogantly walked up the stage and sat there. When he was asked to share his stories, he only talked about himself and his performance. The town people listened to his stories in awe, but Nabil could not understand why his best friend was behaving so arrogantly. Such behavior did not suit a world-renowned player. A couple of days later, Raju was practicing in the nearby ground where he used to play in his childhood. Many old childhood memories came to his mind and, suddenly, he remembered his old buddy, Nabil. Nabil used to be his best friend and he recalled that on several occasions, Nabil had counseled him and helped him. While he was thinking about his friend, suddenly, somebody patted his shoulder. He turned quickly and couldn't hide his happiness when he saw that it was Nabil. Raju hugged his friend tightly and tears started flowing from his eyes. He apologized to Nabil for his arrogant behavior and asked him to forgive him. Nabil was extremely happy. He was grateful to Allah that his friend had not forgotten him. Together, both friends walked towards Nabil's house, laughing and chatting all the way home. They talked about many childhood memories, the pranks they had played, and the fights they had had, and how each time they had forgiven each other and become friends again. Nabil showed his friend a scrapbook which he had made for him. After spending a couple of hours together, Raju left for home, but he promised Nabil that he would look at and read the whole scrapbook that he had given him. A few days later, Raju went back to join his team. His performance, as usual, was excellent, but his insolent behavior was also the same. When things became intolerable, the team management decided to counsel him once again. The manager called him to his office, but he refused to go. The decision was thus taken to ban him from the team. This shocked Raju. He had never thought that his behavior would lead to this, that he would not be allowed to play for Pakistan again. He started walking up and down in his room. His eyes fell on the scrap book that his friend had given him. Idly, he started turning the pages. The scrapbook was full of wonderful stories of players and their sportsmanship. 1. During the Australia vs. Pakistan match in 1998, the Australian captain Mark Taylor's score was 334 not out at the end of the second day, equaling the best test score of the Australian legend Don Bradman. Set in 1930. Media fans, and even the circumstances, urged him to not only break Sir Don Bradman's score, but also Brian Lara's world record of 375. Instead, he chose the captain's way. That is team's good over personal glory. As a gesture of great sportsmanship, he let go of his ego and individual success for Australia's win, but the game came to a draw at the end. 2. New Zealand player, Daniel Vettori, was given the ICC Spirit of Cricket Award in 2012 for his gesture in a hard-fought tie against Zimbabwe. Vettori accidentally collided with non-striker, Malcolm Waller, during his follow-through that stopped Waller from taking a single, but by that time the batsman at the crease, Regis Chakabva, had come too far down the track to get back. The Kiwi wicket-keeper, Rhys Young, whipped the bails, but Vettori immediately withdrew the dismissal, saying that it was his collision which had caused the confusion in the middle. 3. During the match between Sri Lanka and Australia, when Australia was batting, Andrew Symonds got a huge inside edge onto the pads, i.e. his ball hit the pad after hitting the bat, but a very loud appeal from the Sri Lankans, that he was out, was upheld by the umpire. However, when he had walked about 2/3 of the way back to the pavilion, a very surprised Symonds was called back by the Sri Lankan skipper, Marvan Adipattu, who realized that the decision was not right. 4. At Lahore, the captain of the visiting cricket team had to face a strong Pakistani bowling attack, which included the likes of Waqar Younis and Aqib Javed. After a number of play-in misses, Waqar finally had him trapped right in front of the wickets and the umpire declared him out. The captain was very upset by the decision and clearly showed his feelings that the decision was wrong. The captain of the Pakistan team, in what was an historic move, quickly called him back and allowed him to bat again. He was dismissed by Waqar again on the very next delivery. 5. During the 1987 World Cup in Lahore, Courtney Walsh chose to lose the match over running a batsman out in the most unforgiving manner. When 2 runs were needed off the final ball for Pakistan to win, Walsh stopped, backed out in his delivery stride but didn't run out the non-striker, even though he had backed up a little too much. Next ball, the striker Abdul Qadir did eventually get the desired runs and Pakistan scored a win by 1 wicket, all thanks to the grace of Walsh. After reading a few pages, Raju realized that greatness did not lie in achievements only. In fact, it had a great deal to do with sportsmanship. Having realized his mistake, he decided to apologize. The next morning, he called a press conference and apologized to everyone in front of the media. The cricket world warmly welcomed him back.